How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Factorio. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. If you guys have, you guys know to do smash the like button if you haven't already. And let's get right into the episode. So, in between episodes, I have been very busy. There's been a few very long nights working on things. I say long nights, but it was more so me just playing at a really late time, like 4 a.m. is when I got off twice now while playing this. Definitely, which I'm not excited about getting off at 4 a.m. However, I am excited that that feeling of enjoyment of a game persists. And what I mean by that is, like, you get so enthralled with something that you kind of lose track of time, but you lose track of time, like, in a good way. Like, you're like, wow, I can't believe 6 hours have passed, sort of thing. Sometimes that is a bad thing, because you might not feel like you've really accomplished a whole lot in that time, but so much time has passed. But regardless, it was some pretty fun nights. So some of the things we got done here on Flagora is we have our quality scrap area going. We set up a kind of like a primary run of track here. And just to experiment, I've started using these circle interchanges. They seem to be doing pretty well. I don't know what their like optimal throughput is, but they seem to be doing well. We have I think we have 4 quality scrap nodes now, all within the millions. This one's probably going to run out because it's 7.6 at some point, and obviously the 13 will probably run out second, but the 20 and the 34 are going really strong. I would like to eventually tap, I think, this one, which is 27, and then possibly this one, which is 22, but I think it's just going to be a little bit hard with these posts. We might have to rework that rail somehow. Or even this one, which is 47. But for now, I think we're doing well. Like, if you look here, there are occasionally gaps in the output where there is not scrap on the belt. But for the most part, a train is coming in. Like, we have 2 trains waiting. So, honestly, it could just be a signaling issue where the block is too large. So, by the time this train exits, the other train doesn't really have a chance to go in yet, which honestly I think is the issue, because we do have chain signals from here all the way into here, whereas we could probably shorten that up a little bit and have a train like queued like here, sort of thing. That might be what we end up doing, but I'll take a look at that at some point. The other option as well, because I know we have a balancer here to make sure that everything's good, we might put in a 4x4 balancer here, just so that way this car is also getting extracted onto those belts. But for now, it's working, so it's not the end of the world if it's like not 100% optimally efficient. One of the other things is I went ahead, I found a quality book. Actually, I think it's on me. Not that button. What game am I in? Factorio, this button. Found a quality book from this guy. I don't see a name on it, but there's a YouTube video of things. Kanej? I don't know if that's the name. But I found a quality book of items that helps with legendary stuff and things. So, specifically not down there. Where's quality? Here. Pretty much what happens. Now, this I added, this bottom section, but this top section that's all the blueprint. How it essentially works is it takes in the raw resources to make quality 3s. They then get made, they get produced, and then they go onto this middle belt, where they then go through this monstrosity, where it basically just filters out the quality circuits, or modules that are of value, into these chests, which then allows them to be sent off, and then any overage within that chest then goes onto the belt, goes here, gets recycled, and then the parts, if it's regular or uncommon, or if it's uncommon, it goes here. If it's common, just regular stuff, it goes back into the loop to make more. And then if it's higher than that, so if it's like rare, epic, or even legendary, then it's going to go up here, where it can then sit up here. Now notice we do have some epic, some rare products. I really like this. It is producing. It is producing the rare. It's just we happen to need 330 more rare, but it's slowly replacing all of these rare, which is really, really good for us. So that is excellent. We could possibly speed this process up by actually having this be a requester chest, because then it would request, at the very least, it would be requesting the blue circuits and red circuits as needed, as well as the superconductors. But I think it's fine for now. We also have our old version of this, because I was playing around with it, and the more I was looking at it, I was like, oh, well, this doesn't really work out very well, because I find that this build here, this little template that my friend was using, ow, I hit my knee on my desk. I was inappropriately using it, or improperly using it. It's not really intended for products that are required in the next tier of the product. So, for instance, modules are a great example of that. So, like, on the module ones, like this is going to get made, put it recycled, and it's going to keep doing that until you get rare. So it's only, like, this set is only ever going to produce rare quality 1 modules. But then, if you look at quality 2, well, this one requires regular common quality modules, so this guy is never going to operate, which means this guy is basically never going to operate, so this whole corner is never going to operate. The top one does operate, because there are quality 1 rare modules being produced. So this system, the first tier, is all fully working, but it's only ever allowing the top one to function, because the bottom 2 will never function. And it's the same premise for the quality 3 modules, is these two basically are never going to function because the modules needed for them are never going to be available. But the top one at least functions. So it works, but it works not correctly. So that kind of sucks. But in cases where you do need just the first tier of quality module, it works. And then what I ended up doing is I added these as an option. I added inserters with a chest. Well, this chest is naturally part of it, so it produces a ton of quality ones. This one should have actually been uncommon ones. I don't know why I did that, but oh, I probably had to have set quality filter on it. But otherwise, that one works like that. And then I went ahead and I added 2 more of these, which are slowly getting functional. We still need quite a few modules and whatnot, but actually, wow, a lot of them are full. Jeez, that is actually quite impressive. Anyway, so these are eating a lot of scrap, so we are getting tons and tons and tons of stuff, which is really great. And then I set up a armor factory for things that we need, which is really cool, because if you look at rare armor, for instance, the rare mech armor, it has so much more space, and these legs are 48%. Like, oh, I have so many more legs. The roboports are honestly the most impressive thing, in my opinion, right now, because it holds 40 robots instead of the base 25 or whatever it is. Like, this is crazy, being able to have 240 robots just go do my bidding, go build things. And then I've also got quality robots, which are also really cool. We didn't do portable fusion reactors because these require uranium, and I haven't fully set up interplanetary logistics yet, so where that would make sense. And then energy shields, because I don't think we did quality energy shields just yet. I could have been wrong, but I don't think I've done them. No, I didn't do them. And I'm waiting on more batteries to be produced, but honestly, I think we're fucked. Oh, sorry about the yawning, by the way. This is what happens when you record first thing in the morning instead of super late at night, is you end up having coffee and things. Anyway, oh, that tastes good. This is another one of the builds from that same person. I'm not even gonna try to remember what the name was. I'm gonna butcher it brutally. Conage? I think so. But basically where is it? Where is it? Right here. This is a lot of math. Like, there is actual math in it. I forget where to click to see that. I think it's that one? No, this one. Like there's a ton of signaling going on. There is tons of like decider combinators. Like there's a count going up there. There's other things. I thought there was like a really weird signal that I saw. There, yeah, there's like all sorts of making sure the products are there. I could have sworn there was a way to see. I just know there's a lot of weird like math and other items going on here. Oh, actually, I know where I can see it if I look at the blueprint itself. So for instance, here in these casinos, if you like open it up and you parameterize, there's like actual math going on with all of this. Like this guy, excellent job. I have no idea how any of it works. Like I barely signal things in Factorio. Like I'll do basic circuit conditions. This guy went above and beyond with like actual like hard math and stuff to make it work. I have no idea how it works. I don't really have enough resources to make it fully work, I think, all the time, but it's supposed to auto change and like work sort of thing. Basically, it's always making electric control units, but it's eventually going to make higher tier ones as it progresses. So that functions. So that's kind of been our journey here with quality items. The place is mostly working on the quality side, and then I've been slowly transitioning this side over to a new design, particularly because these set of scrap nodes have all been depleted, so we need more scrap nodes. So I'm going to try to get these larger islands, probably this 39, this 42, this 49, because this one's actually a really big island, probably the 1.4, and maybe some of these smaller ones, 6.3, and so on. As you see, it's kind of an incomplete process, which is what we're going to kind of work on a little bit today. So down here, what we ended up doing is I extended the line just really far so we could have access to everything. And then this guy still has a little bit of scrap. So that's why all of these trains are now on this line. And how it works is they come over. So we redesigned this thing because the issue with this is these branches were way too close to one another, preventing proper signaling and just preventing trains from properly functioning. And then we had the monstrosity of an intersection up here. There was another one down here. It was not great. The trains were crossing too many places, causing us to have issues. Now, you can technically, I will give credit where credit is due. If you signal things properly, you probably can get away with this, but I don't think this is proper. So and this refueling station, this was before I learned about interrupts, by the way. That's why this existed. However, since I now know what interrupts are and somewhat how to use them, which is what I have over here, we're gonna build another refueling station. Probably right here. We'll probably just reuse this, but we're not gonna have it be this. Although, actually, no, we're not gonna put the refueling station here. These are one by 2x1s, which are the same size as this train, so these trains can also use this refueling station. It is out of the way, but it works. Anyway, how this works, same idea as before. The only difference is I've added buffer chests, so that way the trains are guaranteed to go in and out. Here we didn't have room for buffer chests, so it was direct insertion pretty much, which was not great. There is no load balancing here, but this cart is all going to be loaded into this cart. So there is guaranteed to be enough room in that sense. But just in case, we're doing the buffer chest. So that way there is the ability for a train to fully unload. Then it can leave and then another train can come in. Now, that is an area where we could run into issues where the train leaves and another train is immediately able to take its place, which seems good. But then depending on what its contents are, but this is not quality, so we should never have an issue. Part of the train might unload and whatever. If it was quality, that could cause an issue because then a different quality pile of scrap could get into this train car and then cause some backup, and then this train car can't fully empty, and then it's stuck in the station until one of these trains comes in, sort of thing. But otherwise, how it functions is these trains, the input trains, are coming from the right hand side, and they come in, they unload, and they leave. And again, yeah, all my trains are omnidirectional, but my track is one directional. It's just sometimes you never know when you have a station. Usually it's at the mining outposts themselves where you need the omnidirectional because you're limited on space. That's pretty much, at least here on Flagora, why it's omnidirectional, but I've just always done omnidirectional Because I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt because then it just allows the train, if it ever gets stuck somewhere, some options to get unstuck. So those trains come in, they unload here, and then they get to leave back out to the right. And then the larger trains, the 141s, those guys are going to come in here. So we have a holding pen, and then they can go up in. This is a design flaw that I did, but actually, when I was doing it, I realized that if I have the trains coming in one direction and then the trains going in the other direction, what ends up happening is things do not line up really nicely, and we have something that looks like this, where this has to be like shifted down so many tiles for it to even attempt to line up. It doesn't work out as well, which is kind of annoying. So I was like, okay, well, we have more space up here. Let's just do it properly. So they all come in from the top, and then these guys leave to the right. These guys, the larger trains, leave to the left. And then they do have to cross under, but that's fine. I think it's an okay run. And then they just go straight down, and they're on a separate network entirely. Like, their rail network does not connect to the other rail network, which was kind of an issue because here they were crossing over one another, which could potentially lead to backups. And then the smaller loading trains had to come in here, but we're also sharing part of the lane with the larger train. Like, it just was not working, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of this system right here, but it is what it is, I guess. But I never finished signaling it. And then the trains come in, they have a holding pen, and they can stay here. So we have three. We have potentially 6 trains. My goal is to have 3. I think 12, because 3, 6, 3 is 9, or maybe 9. I think I'm gonna have 9 trains, because then at most they're either all up here waiting to be loaded or all down here waiting to unload, plus 3 in the paddocks actually unloading. I think that's the goal. Alright, well, let's work on some of that today, just so we can get some of these trains functioning and get some of these annoying signals off of our screen. So, we don't need all of these trains up here anymore. And then the larger trains are going to be able to refuel at the drop-off location. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. This scrap pickup still has 56 million, and we're going to still want to attach it, which is partially what this section here is. We want to bring it over and bring it down, just so there's still a train route over here. I don't think we're going to extend it this far, nor do I think we're going to keep this. I think we're probably just going to keep this little section here connecting to it, and that will be it for that. As for our preparations while we work to get these trains I just need a temporary track so I can get this train onto it, only because it has some scrap that I don't want to have to carry. As for our preparations for Gleba, oh, wrong track. We started getting a good amount of everything we need for the trip. So if we look at the Enterprise, we have a lot of the items we need. However, a lot of these quality items we don't quite have just yet. I think some of them we aren't producing at all, and some of them we haven't gotten yet. But we don't have that area where those quality items are being produced connected up to the rocket silos. Go to main. Go to drop. There, go to drop. We just don't have silos over there, so we need to build some silos and then have all that functioning. And once we do that, then those items should be able to go up there without an issue. We're just going to place that down just so we don't get struck by lightning. So we need to get rid of this whole section of stuff and things. And then these trains are almost ready to start going over. We need to finish signaling. So let's work on that. Let's work on signaling, getting these trains going. There is literally one location that they can actually get scrap at. So that's kind of what I've been working on here. I don't think we've touched any of the other planets, but I could be wrong. Then we no longer need this track at all. Let's just go ahead and get rid of it. Now, one of the things I want to look at doing as well at some point is going back to novice and scaling up our factory production. But that I think is going to be at the end of the playthrough when we have like all the research that we're going to need for things. Do we have more signals? We do. We have some signals. Oh, we already pre-signaled it. We just never placed the signals. That is excellent. Okay, well, that's actually quite good then. Are there any more that we need to go signal? I don't think so. And then once we go back through and we have a lot more of the tech and we do a larger playthrough, I think what we're going to probably end up doing is maybe making a mega base or something out of it. Like out of the remnants of these bases. Just to see how far we can push science. I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy like 100 million per minute or anything. I think maybe we'll do like 1 million per minute sort of bases just to see what it would be like. Because I've never really mega based in Factorio, so I'm curious to see what I can come up with in terms of designs for things. Based on local understandings of certain things. We need rail signals. I don't know if I'm making them over here. Does not appear so. We move so much faster now, but the problem is these robots. The robots can't keep up with me at all. Come on, robots. Thank you. That is one thing that we could always research more robot speed. Let's queue a bunch of it up, see what happens. Oh wow, we actually do have research for it. I'm pleasantly shocked that we have beakers. I would have sworn we were missing something. I like how even though it's infinite, it never adds like the other researches. It's only the researches that you needed for it to begin with, which is kind of nice. I like that. Because then you don't have to worry about trying to like ratio things out for an infinite science if like you're trying to get it early on. As you can see, we definitely don't have... I mean, we have an okay-ish amount. I'm pretty sure... Well, no, the novice base is not 1,000 per minute. It should be about 100 per minute. But because of stockpiling, it probably will go above that. But it should settle around 100 per minute. Okay, we need... rail signals. Where would those be? I think I have them down here somewhere, right? Yep, okay. Yeah, let's go like one more. Still on trains missing. There's still quite a few items we're missing. Okay. Oh, why is this train not going into the holding area? Because these trains are slightly longer than where the signals are. There we go. Yeah, if we have anything else to place, go ahead and place it, robots. Okay. I never designed a holding area for the input trains, which I'm starting to realize could be a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I mean, there's enough of a holding here on the track that it might be fine. But we'll find out. I like to not be struck by lightning game. Okay, and then this is where... Actually, no. That's not how I want it signaled. Because these blocks... Okay, so then this train leaves. Wanted to check to see is the path ahead clear. Signal. Signal. And then this gives us a bunch of smaller blocks which allow trains in and out. Alright, does that work? Trains are coming in, so... Seems to be a working. Well, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for today. We just run over a little bit on time, but that's fine. So my plan for in-between episodes this week are to continue ripping up a lot of this track and getting the old production of things set up again. We have a lot of science banked. I think we have like 250,000 or whatever it is, like sitting in storage here. Yeah, we have 230,000 science, so like it's not a pressing issue. But goals in between episodes are, number one, to get this area back to functioning. Step number two, set up rocket silos over here so that way we can get all the quality items that we have been producing up to the rocket. Because, like, for instance, we have all the pumps we're going to need. We actually have almost all the reactors we're going to need. We are getting there. We have all this, that. We have all of those. Like, it's not too terribly difficult to start getting all the items. So we will... English hard. We will get the items up there. We'll build some rocket silos. As for the other planets... The only thing I can think of on Volcanus that I would like to do is I think get science, or not science, get speed 3s. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just export the tungsten from here and have it shipped off-world. I don't know. That might be the move. I don't know. I do want to get productivity, or not productivity, speed 3s being made. As for novice here, there's not really anything I'm doing that would require us to geez, I have not been here in a minute. That is crazy. I kind of forgot we did this train design. What is that, a 282? That is a 282. What on earth was I designing? Oh yeah. I mean, we're not running out of... Yeah, I have not looked at our base, by the way, in a very long time. Wow. Okay, I mean, uh, interesting design decisions I've made. I see. But yeah, so those are some of the things. Also, one of the other things, I think we're either gonna turn Volcanus. I don't know because Flagora is gonna again. Flagora is gonna have all the quality, so it's like, oh, Flagora should be the one that does it, but Novice and even Volcanus would probably be good for it. We need a shipyard because we're gonna be building a lot of platforms. So it really it's a temporary-ish thing because we're gonna need because right now we have science ships. Yes, they are science ships. Okay, this one's just a board cube. Um, so just they're science ships. Because we're gonna need a logistics transport. Ideally, what I want is I want one between each planet. So like Volcanus to Gleba, I want one. So if there's ever anything that needs to go between the two, there is. I want one from Volcanus to Novice. I want one from Novice to Gleba. So basically, all of these paths, I want a transport ship on potentially, but I also want transport ships from Flagora because I think Flagora is going to be where we produce all of the rocket components. So LDS, rocket fuel, and blue circuits, because we get two of those three items just from the recycling aspect. Like we have blue circuits out the wazoo, we have low density structure out the wazoo. Like basically free production. So there's no point in trying to produce those somewhere if we don't have to. Um, so I think we're gonna make Flagora into the supply hub for rockets. So and we can also get rocket fuel easy because you just pump oil literally out of the oceans here. So and those are also items that are byproducts anyway that we need to use up, such as the solid fuel and the ice. So it's like might as well, right? So those three items are gonna be our export here on Flagora. So Flagora is gonna go to every single planet to drop those resources off. And Flagora is also going to be where we do probably the majority of our quality. Because I don't really know how quality is going to look on other planets. I mean, I suppose it looks the same. Doesn't really matter because you take scrap. Like, scrap just happens to kickstart the quality resources. But if you're producing them from start to finish, that kind of is a different story. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that because now I'm curious if it makes more sense for us to do quality modules on Flagora or if it makes sense for us to try to do speed threes on Volcanus. Let me know down below what you guys are doing with your modules and stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, you guys know to do smash that like button if you haven't done so already. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and peace out.